Okay. First thing I noticed was it's going to put on a good bit of more work on us. Right now, we're booking more inmates than ever, the felony inmates. We're holding them longer, and it's causing us a lot of stress right there because of justice reinvestment. Of course, I could get off on that, and that's the reason we're having all the violence that we're having now too. But that's caused us a lot more problems with the felony prisoners. Right now, we have about I think we have right now we have close to 995, almost 1,000 people being awaiting trial in our jail, and then we have another 300 that we're having to hold out there. And so we've got 1,300 people out there, and the jail was built for 1070. So my initial thought is it's going to be difficult to find the manpower, extra help that we need, and the space that we need. But we're willing to talk and look at it. I know that the city jail is not. It was built for I think over 100 people, and there's not that many people in it. There's probably less than 15 in the jail.
Steve, don't let me put words in your mouth. Help me out. When you say talk about it, do you mean negotiate?
Well, yeah, it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us. I mean, a jail is a money losing proposition anyway, and only the ignorant and the uninformed would think that a jail is profitable. When you hear this stuff about Prator's making all kind of money on this jail, they're ignorant. That is not the case. We have to take from $2 to $3 million a year out of our general fund, our law enforcement budget, to put in our corrections budget just to survive. And
Sure.
a lot of this problem is because we have almost 1,000 people awaiting trial, and we've got to get those people to trial and get them either convicted or released. And that's the big holdup.
Sheriff, there was mention during the meeting that Baton Rouge just has one jail. They don't have a parish jail and then a city jail, and it seems to work fine there. Is it a matter of we just haven't done it that way, and is it worth exploring at least?
Well, Baton Rouge, they have that city parish government too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the sheriff's office and the city are separated, but there's a lot of things that they do jointly, and they've always done that way for years and years and years. We haven't. We've always counted on the parish commission, who pays us $3.50, which is just a meager amount, in order to feed and clothe and to watch the prisoners, $3.50 a day. And we can't even get by with that. And now if you dump these other people in on us, and you got to understand also, even though the city may not have, but say 15 in the jail, and I'm just guessing that number, they book a tremendous number of people that come in and go out. And that's a lot of work to book somebody, to do the complete records history on them, to create a file on them, and then to process them back out, make sure that everything is in order and that you've got the right person and they're not wanted for something else. And then you throw in the problems that we're having with COVID. We've got prisoners out there that are positive. We've got pods that are isolated, and so we have it's quite an endeavor to run a place like that.
Mr. Steve, if this started to happen, if the idea coming out of the Shreveport City Council got picked up by a commission member or two, do you have veto power over all of that? Or how exactly would that process work?
I can say no, and it's not going to happen. And another thing we have to think about, though, is I've got a meeting tomorrow with the juvenile court judges. They're wanting us to house juveniles. Certain juveniles that the court can order that be held in our facility. And that's a whole other animal in itself, because by law they have to be out of sound and out of sight of adult prisoners. And so we had a couple of juveniles over there that judges had ordered us to keep. And finally we got orders from another judge to send them back, because we can't have 15-year-olds in there with 30-year-olds. I mean, that just doesn't even make sense.
You said a couple of seconds ago, pardon me, you said a couple of seconds ago, I can say no, meaning you, Sheriff Steve.
Right.
And through the conversation, you haven't been overly positive about the idea. Are you ready to say no? What would it take for you to say yes or go ahead?
No, I'm not going to say no at all because I love this area. I grew up here and I want to do what's best for this area. But I'm not going to sacrifice resources for the men and women of the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office in order to take a burden off the city that we're not responsible for. That's what I'm saying. It's going to have to be enticing and make sense, and we're not going to lose money on it because the parish government or the citizens that pay the parish taxes, which is everybody in the city, they expect us to continue to provide the excellent services that we've done. I mean, let's face it, crime's down at the parish. We hadn't had 60 homicides or 55 homicides out there. We're doing good out in the parish with a lot of reasons. It's not just the sheriff's office; it's a lot of things coming together.
Sheriff, one thing was mentioned during the meeting that you could take the current city jail and use it for a juvenile lockup where we have a problem. But I'm getting some text from folks at juvenile saying that it would take too much to reconfigure that. Is that a possible solution to our juvenile lockup problem?
Yeah, that could possibly be, and I have no idea. I don't have any idea what it would cost and what's required as far as the juvenile specifications for juvenile cells and that sort of thing. I know it's a lot more than the adults. But there again, that's what just because we're running a facility, a jail, which CCC is, it's over capacity. We have trouble getting people to come to work in law enforcement as it is. We have COVID. We have more demand than we have ever had as far as booking prisoners out at the felony jail. And juvenile and the city, just because they come up with an idea, does not mean that it's going to work or that it's a good thing for the parish. It's something that we can explore, and we owe it to the citizens that elect us to explore everything open-minded.
Sheriff Steve Prator.
And that's exactly what I do.